Political analyst and regular on the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too.
Now, let's take a look at the papers. And the biggest story we were waiting for, and as we predicted, this would be a big story, the Miguna arrival that never was. And as we told you earlier on, the government had issued a red alert on him and he was held up in Berlin, did not make his connection to Kenya. And the headline for that on both the Daily Nation and the Standard, let's start with the Standard. The Standard says, the man no one wants to touch. And it's saying Miguna has ridiculed almost everyone in Kenya. If you are not a buffoon, you are corrupt, a coward, or some other pejorative stuff. And then we have on the top mast of the paper, on the Daily Nation, it says Miguna's arrival uncertain after airport hold-up, confusion and self-proclaimed as self-proclaimed revolutionary general barred from boarding flights in two European countries. Will the drama surrounding him ever end? I think that's a question that only time can tell.
Yeah, time can tell. But
is the Standard headline fair? The man no one wants to touch.
Yeah, I think Miguna has felt himself in building, building a network of allies, especially in influential places who can assist him. And when you look at his frustrations, I think the government is going too far. Miguna is, I can say his influence is highly overrated.
Yeah.
If at all he was that influential, then we could be seeing some, unease or tension among Kenyans. But, people are just easy. People are just watching on how these things are unfolding.
Right.
So I feel Miguna's influence is overrated, and the government should not play to his, the moment these things are happening, everything surrounding is coming is being played like a drama, like a movie, and to him is enjoying.
And I'm sure he enjoying it. I'm sure there are people who, the president did talk about it the other day about his possible arrival, but then with all the things that he says on Twitter, I think it's also a question of power. If he were to say all that and then just walk into the country,
but you see, you don't block somebody for expressing himself. What the government would have done is maybe if what he's saying is lie or is unfounded truth, is allow him to come, then the people affected, the people is accusing of being corrupt or, doing cowards and these funny things, can then take court action, can, proceed and arrest him and go to answer to those charges. But, preventing him is actually playing to his assertion that they are cowards. Because if you are afraid of me, then you don't want me to move closer to you.
Absolutely.
But I feel tricks that this man should just be allowed. Let the government obey the court orders that gave him permission to come back to Kenya. This is his homeland.
Yeah, I predict that there will be movies made about this in the future.
Even if he does these theatrics, and we feel that I don't think even Miguna has a constituency. Despite the fact that he's being referred to as a general in quotes, but I don't feel if he has that a sound or a block that the foot soldiers that will really stand and take a bullet for him. I don't think so, because even when you follow him, or when you look at his Twitter and his followers, he has no friend. Everybody who talks, you talk positive, he attacks you. You talk negative, he attacks you. So who are his foot soldiers?
Exactly.
And he's telling people to mobilize. Who is mobilizing?
I think perhaps, I don't know, maybe he says he's home, but he's a Kenyan by birth and by right, and by virtue of that, he does deserve to be in the country. But as far as politics is concerned, we do see a lot of times there are no permanent enemies and permanent friends as far as Kenyan politics goes.
But you see, something that many Kenyans are asking, if the deportation of Miguna was as a result of the swearing in of the former Prime Minister, and everything has been forgiven under the handshake.
Yes.
And people who are involved have been, the cases like the TJ Kajwang's case, I don't know how far it has gone, but I don't think if it's a case that many Kenyans are looking up to.
Yeah.
They will look at the former president had a handshake with the president. So I feel that the former prime minister, right? I feel that if Miguna's mistake was to conduct that swearing in, and everything has been settled under the handshake, then we should be having Miguna on the Kenyan
perhaps
land.
do you think that he might be stuck in that particular tense era where we were, it was just a post-election situation where they needed the leaders to come together as they did, but then he left during that tense moment, and that's why his language still reflects some of that, politically charged.
The problem with the Migunas in run-up to 2017 election, he wasn't decided which part of the political side is supporting. So he was like in the middle. Even he ran as an independent candidate.
Yes.
So after the elections and there was a rerun, he moves quickly to the side of the former Prime Minister, ODM leader Raila Odinga. And in so doing, he starts attacking the government. But in his previous pronunciation, he was like sympathizing with the government.
Yes.
So when you look at his movement and his body language, it seems that he's not a friend to trust, because he will come to your side, then he's picking issues, come to this side, trying to relay or release secrets that were found from the other side.
Okay.
So I think Miguna should watch his mouth. He should talk less and hear more.
Okay.
So that, the more you talk, people look at you as a threat. When you are not even a threat to anything.
Right.
Because Miguna, according to me, is not a threat.
Politically speaking.
Politically, even, is not a security threat in this country.
Yeah.
He cannot mobilize the way he's saying people should mobilize. Miguna cannot cause a revolution. So the more this drama continues, the more Miguna becomes popular.
Yeah.
And in so doing, maybe in future, he might be a man to watch politically.
And it is building him some considerable publicity, given that he's been splashed across the papers, and we are discussing it right here on the show.